Hey, I'm Matt Gruidl, and this is my KW story.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us today for our My KW story. We have got the honor and privilege of talking to Matthew Gruidl, who is one of our KW military leaders. And special bonus, he's also one of our bold coaches. So Matt holds several titles in our world, and we're going to dig all into his story. So Matt, thank you for spending these next 15 minutes with us.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let's jump into it. What we want to do is we want to hear about your journey through Keller Williams because it's different for everybody. And one of the things we frequently get asked is, well, how did you start? How did you end up at Keller Williams? Well, what did it look like from there? We've had a lot of people who want opportunity and where entrepreneurs thrive. So we want to show them some of those paths because everybody's looks different. And you've got a really interesting one, in particular, how you got into the leadership role that you originally had in Keller Williams. So start us off and lead us through a very brief history of you and kind of how you ended up at KW and what that looked like.
In 2015, I retired from the United States Army, Command Sergeant Major E9 after 22 years. From there, I went into what we do. I went into project management. We are so service orientated that I was just like dress, left, right, left. Let me go into something like, a service orientated job such as project management. So I took that skill set. I went into project management. Now, my wife was friends with an agent, a very high producing agent. She kept coming to me all the time. Matt, you got to get into real estate. Matt, you got to get into real estate. You have that personality. People get into real estate. So in 2018, I did a quick 45-day online course, went there, took the test first time, passed it, joined Keller Williams. So about 30 days after I joined, I jumped right back into project management and construction because it just was where I was at and what was going on in my life. Well, at that point, I realized I wanted out of it. So I spent about a year finding my replacement, teaching them leadership and training them. When I was ready to jump back into real estate, that same agent that got me into real estate told the OP, hey, you need a team leader. I know somebody. You should have a conversation with Matt. He had a conversation with me. We went through the whole career visioning process. And lo and behold, July of 2020, I'm the team leader of Market Center 68, the Great 68 in El Paso, Texas, and Las Cruces, New Mexico.
So wait, hang on. Let's pause for a second. So you get out of the military, you go into project management. You're working in that field for almost a decade, it sounds like. You get your real estate license because someone told you you'd be great at sales, which I can totally see. It makes sense. But you never sold any houses. You jumped right into a team leader position.
So the OP, he reached out to me, and that was one of his concerns. But through the career visioning process, I think I kind of stymied that concern. I mitigated it. And I think it was the ALC meeting. We did a meeting with the ALC, and we had an agent, top 20%, say, hey, Matt, you've never sold anything. How are you going to guide me? And my conversation was, well, if I have to teach you how to do a contract or have you have that first conversation, you're probably in the wrong seat. Let's talk about your P&L statement. Let's talk about the return on investment, and let's talk about where we can grow in your business. From there, I think the OP realized that I had the leadership skills they needed without selling any real estate to grow that market center, to connect, and then, attract talent. Because we know that culture attracts talent.
I love that. And I like that for a few reasons. One, we tend to get so hung up sometimes that, well, they didn't do what I do at a higher level than what I do, so they can't coach me or lead me. And the reality is, we know through thousands and thousands of sports coaches and business coaches, being a great coach and being a great leader doesn't necessarily have to do with how hard you pound a pavement in that role. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. So you start in early 2020, you said, as a TL?
Yeah, I started in early 2020.
How'd that go?
Going on. There's no Keller Williams training. You are alone and unafraid in that market center trying to lead.
You are alone and unafraid in that market center trying to lead right as we hit into a very challenging time in March of 2020 when COVID hit. So what did your job and what did your success as a TL look like in there? Because you were dealt a very difficult set of cards right there.
Well, those that know me know that I say one statement all the time. Leadership is monkeys in a barrel. And what that is that's reaching down and pulling somebody up, to the next level. And so I really took the time through my leadership skills to empower my team. And really, I focused on 3 L's: listening, learning, and leading.
I like it. It's not leads, listings, leverage. Let's flip it for the leadership side. So what did your production as a team leader look like? What were your stats?
My team and I, we were at almost 300 gross and 179 net in a little over 2 years.
That's not bad at all, especially for a challenging time that we were entered into in that market. So now you've shown yourself, you didn't do the real estate sales thing. You jumped right into leadership and you crushed it, right? You absolutely crushed it. So at some point in your journey, you said, I want to be a bold coach. Tell us about that next step. What happened there?
Bold changed my life. It really changed the way I looked at things. One of the things when you transition from service to entrepreneur mindset, especially when you go from, a military service to an entrepreneur, it's that identity crisis of, am I Command Sergeant Major Gruidl or am I Matt Gruidl? So being in the bold room really helped me transform my life and change my life. And when I was approached, I was like, I could do this for so many other people. Like, I can change them personally and professionally and be that guide, not the hero, but be the guide that they need. And that's really what appealed to me from bold and why I really went all in and trying to be, not trying because I am, but doing the bold coach.
Now, did you nail it your first try trying out for a bold coach?
Absolutely not. I went through bold auditions, and I didn't make it through. And it's because in that point, I wasn't coachable enough. And so I spent the entire next year becoming, being, and living bold so that when I auditioned again, I could be authentic and I could be coachable and I could be humble and I can learn and guide.
So you didn't give up. We hear a lot of folks try out their first time for being a bold coach or KWU or applying for a position, or they want to become a MAPS coach and they don't get it the first time. And we tend to throw in the towel and go, well, I guess I'm just not going to be good at that. I'll stick to what I'm already good at. Or you were already good as a team leader. You had proven that. And yet you weren't quite ready for the bold coach opportunity. Why didn't you give up?
Once I self-discovered that this is where I wanted to be, I knew that I needed to make the adjustments. And so I just really focused on becoming internally who I wanted to be, knowing that my actions, the do, would be the external. So it's when you discover your passion and you go all in and you just keep going forward, realizing that 2 steps forward, 1 step back is still a step forward, that passion, that gas, that will get you to where you want to go.
I love that. So let's pick the story back up. You didn't get picked as a bold coach. You're still the team leader, yet you're moving down that path. What's happening in your life and in your business at that point in time?
Oh, my better half, my beautiful wife, she got a position in Colorado Springs. She came home to me. She was excited and she was like, Matt, I have this job opportunity, but I don't think I'm going to do it because I know everything you're building here. And my response was absolutely not. I could not lead by example for my son. I couldn't lead by example for my daughter. I couldn't lead by example by the people that I lead as agents and leaders if I did not put my wife first. We are, God, family, and business, right? And that's what we are. And so how could I lead by example? And so I walked away from everything that I had as a team leader to support and fully be with my wife. She supported me for 22 years and 6 deployments. Why would I not support her?
Now, you've moved. You're in Colorado Springs. You're no longer the team leader. Are you a bold coach yet at this point, or is that still to come?
That's still to come. I mean, I moved, and there's, like we talked about, there's a reason for every season. This was put in my path to uproot and move for a reason.
So what happens next? You've moved. You're in Colorado Springs. Pick us back up on your journey.
Well, at that point, I step into a team leader role here because it's what I know, but yet I still have this passion. I still have this desire for bold. Dusty Oglesby reaches out to me. We have auditions coming up, and it was like in a couple weeks, and I was like, you know what? I have done everything that I can do to become the person I needed to become, to take the action to do. Let's go out and achieve these results. And so I went forward and then auditioned for bold, and I made it this time.
Woohoo! I love it. So you're a bold coach. You're about to hit the road. You're going to take out and to empower all those people. And yet when I introduced you, I didn't introduce you just as a bold coach. You have another really pivotal role as a co-community lead for our KW military community. So how'd you get there?
Well, we were at Mega Camp this last year, and I was part of the KW military community because that's my passion, that's my heart. How do we continue? We identify, we speak a different language, yet we transition and we go through so much. So as part of that, I met with Dina a few times, Dina Watson, my better half in this KW military role. And so we had met, and then I had heard that the person had stepped out that was running the community. This was an opportunity. And so I just let it be known that, hey, if there's an opening, if there's a position, if there's a way that I can pour into this community and help, I am all in. Let me know, sign me up. What can I do? Even if it's simply working a booth, carrying a flag, how can I help this community?
I love that. Now, we tend to have impactful moments, things that shift us in our business and in our lives. And you had a few of them here, right? You joined KW as a team leader as opposed to an agent, even though you'd gone and gotten your real estate license. You didn't make it into bold the first time. You went back, you became the person you needed to achieve it the second time. Then the KW community leader position begins to present itself to you. Now, was that an easy thing to become the KW community leader with Dina Watson on that? Did that just happen overnight, or what went into that?
Well, it was, I tell everybody the bold process was probably the most grueling yet rewarding process I've ever been through. KW military community leader would probably be second. There was so many things that we had to get vetted, GPS, 411s, all the things that we were turning in, to earn the right to do business with the KW military community. In that process, Dina and I were going up against each other. It was brought up that, hey, would you like to do it with somebody else if there was an opportunity? Dina found out it was me. She immediately, direct messaged me, and I think we were on a phone in 5 minutes. And I think it was probably 30 minutes into our conversation, we both said that we are a perfect pairing together. And we called KW or sent the email up and said, we are withdrawing our names individually, and we are going full forward together if you would like us, because we believe together we can do more for this community and KWRI as a whole.
So what's the impact, right? You guys have taken over in December as the KW military community leaders, and you've got a big plan, you've got a big GPS, and you've got two powerhouse community leaders there. What can we expect to see out of KW military in the next year?
Me and Dina, Dina laughs at me all the time because, we have Thrive 25. And I keep telling her all the time that I want 20% of the millionaire agents that come out of the KW military community. I want 20% of the 100,000 agents doing 18 sides. I want those that come out of the community. And that is what our passion is. There's so many things coming to where we can provide education personally and professionally. We can provide value to grow those agents to the maximum of their potential.
I love that. Now, if we go through and we look at the moral of the story or the key point that you say, hey, I know you guys have stuck with me so far for these 10 minutes. If there's one thing you get out of watching this video, here's what it is. What's that thing for you?
You can be anywhere you want to be in 5 years. What I love about our Y4C2Ts, which is the left and right limit for everything that we do, I came in at a time when we were introducing equity, opportunity for all. I am that prime example that there's an opportunity for every single person in this company. There's an opportunity for leadership at every single level. If you put the work in, you're passionate, and you keep the Y4C2Ts as your left and right limit, you can be anywhere you want to be in 5 years.
It's so crucial. Gary always tells us we overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year and we underestimate what we can accomplish in 5. And to look at Matt's story here, in 2018, he got a real estate license. I don't know if anybody's doing the math on that, but it's 2023 at the time of this video recording, February 2023 at that. That is not a whole lot of time. It's 5 years. We went from 0 to community leader and bold coach in 5 years. That's a wild, wild trajectory. So congratulations. That's fantastic. Now, for the fun part, what's one thing all of our viewers on this don't know about you that they should?
I like kids' movies. If you want to know the truth, Gruidl, who works out every day at 4:15, that's got massive tattoos, I will watch Hotel Transylvania every single time it's on. And if you put Shrek on, don't ask me to do anything else. I'm watching Shrek.
I'm here for Shrek. I don't know about Hotel Transylvania. I cannot support this, but I am here for Shrek. I am there with it. All right, so now you know probably more than you needed to know about Matthew and his very odd movie choices, as well as his KW story, which is absolutely an astonishing one. That 5-year trajectory is amazing. So thank you, Matthew, for sharing with us today. I really appreciate your time. For everybody on here, if you guys would like to learn more, we're going to give you some information on Matthew, where you can reach him. But we appreciate your time watching this video, and we'll see you next time for a My KW story.
Well, I'm Matt Gruidl, your KW military community leader, and that was my KW story. Now, if you want to know more about KW military, and I hope you want to know more about KW military, find us at joinkwmilitary.com. And if you're a team leader, if you're in a market center, bring bold. Our agents need it now more than ever.